Hi, welcome back to my channel, everybody. Hi. Um, yes, I forgot. I was going to start asking people for their subscription right from the start because I did have a tendency to forget. So if you like this kind of a video, which is my channel is Mrs. Homemaker's channel, and it's all about simple, quick, and easy and delicious recipes. And I call it recipes, but for the most part, I coined the word no recipe recipes because the measurements for the most part are not that important. It's just showing you like your grandma and your mom used to make and share their recipes. Uh, Not all those. There are some things that require the exact measurements, and this is sort of, I'm making up. Oh, by the way, I do tend to be a little scatterbrained, but um, I did welcome you to my channel, and I think I asked you to subscribe if you like this kind of a video, um, and hit that notification button so that you will be notified whenever I make new ones. And boy, do I have a lot of new recipes. Well, not new, my old recipe, but new to you guys. Recipes to share, especially fall appropriate for this season, which is one of my favorite seasons. I love spring and fall. So, uh, with that said, let's get started. I am making pumpkin cream cheese muffin with streusel topping. Yeah, sounds yummy, yeah. And it is. Trust me, it's really good. It's my kind of a muffin. Um, oh, I wanted to let you know beforehand, if you see me glancing over, people said you shouldn't be looking around or, you know, going off the camera. But I did want to mention I have a lot of cats. I have a I have a lot of cats with me. We live with a lot of cats, and they are allowed to come to the kitchen. So I have to be always on the lookout. And that is why you see my eyes rolling around everywhere. Um, so bear with me and the cats. Uh, so, yes, I wanted to mention um, that I have a lot of cats, and I like to showcase them because I do want to use my Mrs. Homemaker's channel's platform to let everybody know that how do I say, I strongly recommend people adopting pets from the shelters, from the local shelters. You know, it's best to start locally and then spread out whenever you can help things locally, as I am all about that. So, yes, go visit your local pet shelters, and maybe you'll find something, this dog, cat, or any other animal that needs a home. Okay, now I said simple, but this recipe does have a lot of ingredients, but it's really not that hard. Like I said, my style of cookie is easy. If I can do it, it's really not that hard. It just sounds hard when you see all these ingredients. So I will. Yeah, I can do that now. I was going to show you my recipe. I do have it written down. I will put it up first. That way you can just pause the video to get the recipes. But like I said, I am going to have this all typed out one of these days, hopefully before the end of this year. But in the meantime, we'll do it like this. Okay, my muffin has three parts. It it has cheese filling inside, and then the streusel topping on top of the cheese, and of course my pumpkin muffin. So, but if you break those parts, into sections, it's really not hard at all. You will see my video won't be that long. Hopefully not, unless I talk a lot. I hope you can see this. Like I said, you can put it on pause. This is the other. I think this was the first page, but it doesn't really matter. Okay? I might put it up again at the end if I don't forget. But I do tend to go over all my ingredients. It says to preheat the oven at 350, which I have done, and it's getting up there. And I have my muffin pan all greased and ready. So let's start the filling first. There's no special orders really. You can start the streusel first, or the filling, or the muffin batter. It doesn't really matter. So I just happen to like to start the filling because it's white. And then that way, if you start the muffin batter first, then it gets stained. Your cream cheese filling is going to turn pumpkiny. So I start off with the white clear stuff first. So I have 1 block of cream cheese. 1 block, 8 ounce. Just dump it in. You know me and my style, we like to keep it easy, no fuss. And 1/3 cup of sugar, white sugar. And this is 1 teaspoon vanilla. I had to flip the pages. I need my cheat sheet. I don't want to mislead you in any of these ingredients or anything. And 1 egg. And the cream cheese should be at room temperature. All these should be at room temperature. Makes it easier to blend. Actually, I don't need to cork it. Just put it in the KitchenAid or a hand mixer. I'm gonna make a little noise. It doesn't take long, so I will not pause the video. I'll put this away. I'm getting ready to make the streusel. You can use the streusel topping on anything. sort of like my basic streusel. It's great on coffee cake and also on apple pie topping. Okay, we'll let that sit for a while. Okay, I don't know if you heard me with that loud noise, but I said streusel topping. This is my basic streusel topping that I use on a lot of stuff. Other types of muffin, cobblers, or I'm trying to think. Apple pie toppings, coffee cake topping. This is what I usually use. See, I like to make things simple when I cook. You know, if I can help it, I will take one, like for instance, streusel topping. I will take that and just use the same recipe over and over. It makes it so much easier, to remember things and rather than to search for things, just keep the streusel topping handy. It's just a little hint. And for this, now we're going to be making the streusel. That cream cheese was the filling. I'm going a little backwards, but there's a reason because it's simpler. Like I said, it's much more easier to go backwards. So I have 1 cup of flour. Hold on. I thought I had everything ready. Remember this? I don't know if I showed you this. I think I did. For anybody that works with flour and pastry, this is almost like a must-have. It's so much better than using your fingers or fork and knife and try to cut butter into flour like you would for pie crust or streusel or any kind of topping. Okay, I have 1 cup of flour and one stick of butter. Well, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar. I can use, sometimes you will see me use half, no, in other words, I am using half. Forget it. 1 cup of, let's start all over. 1 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. The recipe actually called for 1 cup of sugar, but I often use half sugar and half brown sugar. It depends on what I'm making. Brown sugar adds more flavor to it. Especially when you're working with spices, I prefer the brown sugar streusel. And to that, I have 1 stick of butter. I cut it in small pieces to make it easier. And that's it for streusel. So I add. Let's back up. One stick of butter, 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of. Let's go back again. 1 stick of butter, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and 1/2 cup of white sugar, and 1 cup of flour. I tend to say 1 cup of sugar because I have that written on the recipe, but I forget. I prefer to use half and half. So that's what it is. 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. I hope I don't confuse you guys. At the end, I'll go over that recipes again. And all you do is just crumble this up into crumbs. Sometimes it's called crumb topping also. You know, some recipes call it crumb topping or streusel topping. To me, they're the same. I don't know if it really is, but for me, they're interchangeable. I feel like it's known as, aka. Okay, I think I'm making too much noise here. I have it on top of the stove. I'm trying to show you the texture. It's a little cool in this kitchen, and the butter is a little extra hard. You don't really want melted butter. It tends to make the flour. The flour soaks in and turns to mush rather than dry and crumbly. So you can even use your hand if you don't have the pastry cutter. This, just use your 2 fingers and just like that. I must have the camera angled down or something. I tend to go like this. That's a little weird. But yes, if you have kids, kids would love to stick their finger in this and play with it. I am sure. For those of you who are young and baking with your kids, I think it's a good thing if you have kids, whether they're boy or girl, to have them with you when you cook. Teach them from young that it's fun to bake. They watch the mommy bake, and they can maybe even let them have a little input on it. I'm not sure why I like to bake, because my mom never really baked that much. Now, she cooked a little bit. She was a good cook, but I don't recall. She was a busy working woman, which is kind of rare for her age at that time for a lady to go work. But she was very ahead of her time. One of these days, I'm planning on doing a tribute to my mom who had passed away. I so admire her. She went through a lot. I learned most of my baking from my in-laws. My first husband had two great grandmothers who loved to bake from each side, and that's where I learned. They kind of took me under their wings and showed me all this. Okay, now back to this. I don't want to waste too much time. You don't want it to be too fine. Well, you know what? I didn't turn this light on. Is that better? See how they have big chunks of butter? Not big, but I'd say about like a pea size. That's what his grandmother used to say, until they're like little pea size. So you set this aside. And let's make a muffin batter. I'm gonna rinse my hand first. I can't believe I have so many dishes in the sink already. That was from this morning. Well, it's still morning. We had breakfast and everything, and I fed the cats, and my sink is full of dishes already. So I want to put this in another bowl. I'm trying to make this video short because it's really not a long. It doesn't really take long. But like most of you who has been following me know that I can't talk and do two things at one time. When I talk, my hand seems to stop for some reason. But if it wasn't for that, this would go much faster. But it's so well worth it to make this. Even though compared to the other muffin, it does take a little bit more time. And I only say a little bit more, because it really is. See what I mean? You have a little bit of white stuff, which it doesn't matter for the pumpkin muffin. But if you did it reverse, if you put the pumpkin first and then try to make this white stuff, it's going to stain it and perhaps even affect the flavor. So, for the pumpkin muffin, I need 1.5 cup of flour. 1.5 cup of flour. As always, for the muffin batters, you mix the dry ingredients first and then the wet. You know the routine. And 1 cup of sugar, granulated white sugar, and 1/2 cup or 1 stick of butter. 1 stick is 1/2 cup. I have it cut in small pieces so it blends faster. And 3/4 to 1 cup of pumpkin. If you need the exact measurement, say 3/4. But you know my style. If you just happen to have a little bit extra, you don't want to, you can certainly use 1 cup. But I like 3/4 because I have plans for other things to do with my pumpkins, which I will show you one of these days. and 2 teaspoons pumpkin pie spice. I just dump it in. What did I do with my beater? It's not buried in here. Oh my gosh. I lost my beater. Do you guys see it anywhere? Okay, that is so odd. I just had it. Oh, here it is. I found it. Do you guys do that sometimes? Or is it just me? I'm sure it's not just me. But am I really losing it that fast, that bad? Where was I now? Okay. I add the spice. 2 teaspoons pumpkin pie spice. 1 teaspoon baking powder. And one half teaspoon baking soda. I just like to mix it a little bit, so you don't have big clumps of baking powder. You want it. You want the baking powder, baking spices, and all distributed evenly. Baking powder, baking soda, and 2 eggs. 1/2 teaspoon salt. And 2 eggs. And 1 teaspoon vanilla. I know I stopped talking a little bit. I thought maybe I can go faster. Because I know when I talk, I tend to stop. And I had my muffin all green. You can use one of those paper cupcake liners. That makes it easier. So that's about it. You know, you don't have to over mix it because it is a muffin. For those of you who are very, very ambitious, you could probably do what the professionals might want to do is they might beat the pumpkins, beat the butter with the pumpkin and sugar, you know, first, and then gradually add the other stuff maybe. But you know me, as long as it comes out tasty, I really don't care. I want it fast. And that's it. I'm gonna put it in my tin and bake. Because I think I heard that thing, my oven beeping. And as always, I use the ice cream scoop. It's so much easier. I'm gonna go off the camera just a little bit. I just want to grease this. I don't think it's necessary, but okay. Okay, now we're ready to scoop. Okay, what should we talk about while I'm scooping? I am not a talker. I admire a person who can multitask, and we have so many interesting things to talk about. I have a lot of interesting things to share with you guys, but when I'm doing something, it just goes out of my head. I lose focus. Is that a sign of getting old, you ask? I used to think that, but then, I was always a little on the scatterbrain side. Not knocking the, I'm not trying to knock, or make fun of a person like that. Because I'm included in that category. I wouldn't want to make fun of myself. But yes, some people are just not a multitasker, and that is okay. I get things done, as you see. And that's what counts, and that's what makes it so interesting. The world's so interesting. Everybody's different. Okay, this could have been mixed a little longer. And when you come to my channel, I usually do not pause my video that much. Only when I'm baking something or when I absolutely have to save time. But if I do something wrong or spill something or burn something or my cats are spitting up something, you will see all this in the video. I did not pause or edit it out, cut it out. Because I want you guys to see all that. It is a part of my life. And I think it's a part of most people's life. I don't know any of my friends who have a perfect life. And if you see some of the videos and cooking shows and everything, it makes me feel like somewhat, uh, less, or how do I say this? Less, somewhat inferior to those people, because my life is not perfect at all like that. And we should not feel that way, because I'm sure when the cameras are turned off, they have an imperfect life too. I'm almost sure. It makes, okay, three. Yep. It doesn't have to be all filled because we're going to put the cream cheese. You sort of make a well. Ooh, I was going to say without disturbing it, but I got a little bit of pumpkin in it. Yeah, you want to put as much as I want to put as much as I can of this cream cheese because I just happen to love this. Since it has egg, it is a cream cheese custard type. You know what I should do is make a little bit deeper, deeper well. Okay, this is what I should do. What I'm doing is just making a little well. In each one. That one has a little extra, extra. Okay, that should be good. Wash my hand. My faucet is buried underneath there. Okay. One of the cats is just laying right there on the rug. Yeah, I have to watch where I'm stepping on. And I see I have this coat because it was so cold this morning when I got up. I I think it's warming up now, but it was raining. The dampness. I know my furnace came on, so it must have been cold. I'm gonna rinse this spoon off. Because you would do it much prettier. I'm trying to speed it up a little bit because I know I took a little extra time. I seem to have extra cream cheese. You can even, if you have extra, use it for another recipe. Remember, I made uh, raspberry puff pastry. I think it is. It's in one of my previous videos. If you go back, you'll see this is similar. Well, I think it is the same recipe that you put in on the base of your puff pastry. That's what my style of cooking is. You know, if I can use the same kind of stuff for another type of recipe, the better it is. You're most likely going to make it again, and you become more and more familiar with your recipe. And if you have a great memory, you'll be so familiar with your recipe that you won't even need a recipe. You know, you'll just whip it up. And that is my goal. I have a little problem with my memory. It seems to be going bad. I have to work on it. Yes, I believe you can work on your memories to make it better. Perhaps through diet or mind exercises. I'd like to put more in. I don't know if it's going to overspill because I do like this. I don't know why I have so much. Oh, it's 42 minutes already? Holy cow. Where did time go? Okay, I'm going to put this on pause. I should have put it on pause sooner because all I was doing was putting the filling in. Oh, then you want to use the streusel topping and top it. Okay? It's going to make a little mess, but that's all right. And again, I have extra topping because I just keep mine and use it for something else because I do a lot of baking. See what I did? I just topped it with this streusel topping. Then I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. In my oven, get to know your oven. In my oven, I keep it for 25 minutes. I'm going to put it on pause. Okay. Ooh, I touched it. I'm back and it's all baked. It took approximately 26 minutes. I think it's because of the extra amount of streusel topping. But yes, when you insert a toothpick in the pumpkin muffin, it will come out clean. And then the top should be firmly set. Well, not firmly, but it shouldn't be wet. A lot more set than when you first started out. So because of the streusel topping and everything, you can't just flip it. what I usually do is get one of these knife or a butter spreader and just cut all around it and just lift it up. It does come out, excuse me, it does come out easy. So, okay, I'll get the rest out later. Oh, and remember I had extra cheese filling and topping? I baked it. I just put, it's hot. Okay, let me get it. I wanted to show you guys and I burned my finger. Oh no, it's too dark. That's much better. The lighting, I don't know if you can see it. The glare is a little too strong. But yes, that's what I do, with my leftovers sometimes. And I had extra streusel, so I just put it in a container. And I think I'm gonna make my rhubarb raspberry crisp, but I'm gonna use this topping instead. So yes, learn how to be a little frugal. You know, some say cheap, I say frugal. That way, not only with the money, but you also save time when you are thinking frugal. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be making. And if you're interested, uh, go to my channel. And I think I'm trying to remember. I made so many videos now. It's probably somewhere in the middle. My rhubarb raspberry crisp. And with the cheese thing, you can also, if you have leftover, you can use it for my Danish. I made rhubarb, or was it just raspberry? No, I made cheese Danish with raspberry. So go back and check it out. Maybe you can do the same with the leftover. That's just some ideas. You can come up with your own ideas too. If you do, let me know. Okay, now I keep it short. I do want to take a taste test for you guys. It makes me feel good to say for you guys. It's not for me. No. I'm sure you don't believe that. This is so hot. It just came out of the oven. The only reason why I'm cutting it in half is well, this is not a good example, but I'm not going to cut another one. The reason why I wanted to make a deeper indentation is this. I wanted to, have raspberry going halfway down. Would that have looked prettier? But this is good. I see a lot of cheese filling. Mm. You smell. It smells like fall with all the spices, and it tastes like fall. It tastes very pumpkiny. I don't know if there is a word like that, but that's the best way I can describe it. It's pumpkiny. It has all the pumpkin pie spice in it, and cheesy for the cream cheese. Definitely tastes cheese. Now, like I, like I said, and this is a better. This half is a little bit more. See how how much cream cheese there is. It's loaded with cream cheese. Um, if you make it deeper, if you get a spoon and scoop the inside out, you can even add more cream cheese. That would be even more yummy. I was in a little hurry. I'm trying my best to make the video short. And it's already 50 minutes, so I'm going to call it quits. Another bite first. I definitely recommend you making this. This is really delicious. Don't talk with your mouth full. I know. Mm. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. As always, God bless. And I pray peace to the world. And till the next time, it'll be another pumpkin, either pumpkin or apples, something for fall. So till then, I'll see you. Bye bye. Have a good day.